Hi guys, I wanted to take a little bit of time just to talk about my journey. I last year decided to make some massive changes in my life, and they weren't easy, and a lot of people thought I was crazy and mad and having a midlife crisis, but I just wasn't happy with the way things were. I'm getting a bit comfy here. And I thought, I saw an interesting article online and thought maybe I'll document this on YouTube, because I think maybe some of the things I've learnt will help other people. So despite my work background, I've worked in media, television, all these different things, social media, marketing. As a person, I was terrified of cameras, terrified of failure, terrified of looking stupid, I think, is the answer. Sorry if I'm not being a bit reflective with this, but I think we all do it, don't we? We all get a bit kind of afraid of things and afraid of failure and stuff like that. But mine came from two things. The first one was when I first started out in business, I was a bit more outwardly confident, I think I would say. 17, wet behind the ears, as they say, just dived into business, and it was a great experience now, but I was so wet behind the ears that I made a ton of mistakes, and I was took advantage of quite badly by other businesses, but I learned a lot. I mean, back then, I was so confident in what I was doing. I was making a huge amount of money. I'd just walk in and tell people I can do this, and sometimes I didn't even know how to do it. I just figured it out as I went, and I basically did this for a long time. And eventually, what happened is one of the clients I was working with basically screwed me over, and I ended up losing about £250,000, which at that time I was probably about 19, something like that. Was a scary amount of money, and that did a lot of damage to me up here, mentally. I, at the time, money was such a big thing to me. Not so much now, but money was such a big thing to me that because I'd lost this, I felt a sense of failure and I felt a sort of embarrassment. Even though most people didn't know what was going on, I felt it. I felt embarrassed around people. And it took me a long time to recover from that, but it made me very cautious, very careful, very safe. And last year, why am I saying this? So last year I decided to quit all of this. My health wasn't good. My mindset wasn't that great. I was still doing great jobs and working, traveling all the way around the world, but I really didn't feel like I was at my best. And I created a huge upheaval. And those of you around me at the time would have thought he's having some kind of midlife crisis or something. And I just wasn't happy with who I'd become. And I think sometimes we get like that, don't we? We drift through and don't really... We know we have a plan, but we allow things to happen and us to walk into situations that shape us. And I'd allowed some bad things to shape me. Despite doing crazy things and some amazing achievements over the last 15 years, I didn't feel like I was being at my best. So I embarked on this change, and then I ran for political office, which I've always wanted to do. I've always thought would be a great thing to do, and I got the opportunity, and it was an amazing experience, and it really helped me with the health because I do a lot of walking. But it got me from the point of thinking, oh, I need to hide and stand behind cameras and do all that kind of stuff, to going, you know what? I should be doing this, and suddenly this campaign was about me, and what I could offer. Now, I didn't win, but at the same time I did win because I realised that I had a lot of hang-ups about things that I needed to shake off. And I went through a massive upheaval, things I wasn't happy with, life generally. And now the other side, I feel like a different person. It's been painful, it's been difficult, there's been upset caused on the way, but I think the journey from being a 17-year-old kid, starting a business that went really, really well, to dealing with the problems. I mean, how does a 17, 18-year-old kid deal with the fact that his customer owes him 250 grand? I mean, it's going to make a great book someday, I think, but at the time, it was really scary. And actually looking back, it's really interesting because you look back and sometimes I've gone, do you know what, I've not been trying to pursue my own goals and my own things that I want to achieve in my life. I've actually been trying to avoid going back to that. And I don't know whether other people do this, but you actually avoid going back somewhere becomes your goal. And that's really bad because when I was learning to drive, I'm telling another random story, but when I was learning to drive, my instructor said to me, what you focus on is where you'll go. And, that makes sense when you're behind the wheel of a car and all of that. But actually it's true in life, I think. I was so focused on not going somewhere that I actually didn't make the right choices. I ran from things that I should have stuck with. I avoided some things because they felt dangerous. I did all of the things that I shouldn't have done, I think. And not took risks, not been worried about mistakes, been worried about what people think. And yeah, last year I thought, do you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't be worried about, I don't want to grow old and realise that I've played things safe and not really pursued what I want from life and what I believe in life. But at the same time, I don't want to sit as an old person and go, what have I done with my life? I really want to make a difference. I don't want to just be here and gone. But I was doing it half-heartedly. I wasn't really focusing on things. And when you don't really focus on the right things, you end up achieving nothing. So that's what happened. And that's my story, I think. I could give you lots more, and I'm going to do more of these video blogs, I think. But, I think my lesson is don't focus on not doing something, focus on doing something, and then you might get there. But also you have to really kind of drop baggage, because we do carry a lot of baggage from things that have gone on, and they influence our decisions and our movements. I know even now there are things from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago that sit in the back of my mind, and we just have to forget them. We have to forget them. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to a bit of my story. Comment, share. See you later.